That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is episode 29, and we are covering July of 1998, leading up and covering Fully Loaded 1998. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, how you doing this fine week after WrestleMania 35?
Pretty well. Doing pretty well. I think they did some good things last night, but we'll see if they actually stick to some of the big changes. It was nice to see Kofi win, that's for sure.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's definitely the highlight of it. Yeah, even though the women were the main event, I think Kofi, Daniel Bryan stole the show, and they were the main event.
Yeah, that was a good match.
The show's going to be remembered because of that, not because of Becky Lynch winning the title.
No, especially now with the controversy.
Right. Yeah, with the shit ending.
Yeah, that's just tainted.
Yeah.
Tainted.
It just ended out of nowhere. It ended like shit.
Why?
What? That sucked.
Yeah.
As well, anyway, so this week we're covering, like I said, July of 1998, and we've been going through, and last week we covered the King of the Ring, and a couple weeks after King of the Ring, and it's now known that Undertaker will be the number one contender, as he revealed himself. He had dressed as Kane. He fooled everybody. He fooled Vince McMahon. Even fooled me watching back 20-something years later. I totally forgot that he did that. And he becomes the number one contender. Or at least that's what JR says as the show ends. And we'll talk about it on this episode, but they'll confirm that once we get into the Raw recaps. And like I said, we're getting to Fully Loaded. So pretty quick, another pay-per-view already. We haven't done like back-to-back episodes of ours with pay-per-views, back-to-back in a while.
Right.
So I guess it's because last week we did King of the Ring to start the show, and then we did two Raws.
It's always going to rotate. Yeah, it's always going to rotate because it's a odd number, right?
Right. Yeah, like so for instance, next week there's no pay-per-view. It's just weeks building up to SummerSlam.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's just the way it is. So, like I said, last week we covered that, and Undertaker is now the number one contender. Is there anything you want to talk about before we get into the nuts and bolts of this episode?
No, I'm ready to get into the nuts and the bolts.
Nuts and the bolts. I don't know if you had any more WrestleMania commentary.
No, not really.
Yeah. People that are listening aren't listening for our WrestleMania recap really anyway.
Yeah, I'm not as... I don't know.
No, but
it was good.
But
it's just so long. It's just so long.
Yeah,
it's like a whole day event, and the thing ended at 12:30 like that. No, I don't have time like that.
No. And, I mean, I had the time. I took the time, actually, I should say. And then I felt like I wasted time.
See, that's the worst. Then you got guilt, time guilt.
Right. It's like, fuck, did I really have to stay up that long and watch that shit when I knew it was going to suck at the end?
Yeah, you're like sleep. That was like 2.5 hours of sleep right there.
Yeah. God damn. All right, so let's just get into it. So we have Raw from July 13th, 1998. This is Raw 268, and this is coming from, well, of all places, East Rutherford, New Jersey. So just where WrestleMania was the other night. WrestleMania 35. All right, so the show's going to start out, and as I had said, JR had said, Undertaker is the number one contender. And, there was room for speculation, like, well, maybe not. Maybe, Vince McMahon will do something to say that he's not the number one contender because he was dressed as Kane or he's acting like Kane and the Undertaker never showed up. So, maybe there was a speculation of that, but it's confirmed pretty early on in this episode that Undertaker is the number one contender, but he will have to defend his number one contendership right away. and the person he's gonna defend it against is Vader of all people.
I know that is kind of random.
Right. And there's not really much to this match. Undertaker's gonna win pretty quickly, in a 7-minute match, and he's gonna have a tombstone on Vader, which is impressive because Vader's such a big guy. But the one thing that stood out to me with this match is that just moments before the match starts, the Undertaker gets to the corner of the ring.
Yep.
The fucking turnbuckle, like the ring post, has pyro, and it almost like blows up right in Undertaker's face. And you can see he's like visibly shaken by it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, dude, come on.
Like, fucking burn his eyebrows off.
His eyebrows are off. Yeah, he's probably smelling burnt hair the whole match.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that was pretty scary. If you go back and watch that, that happens at 7 minutes and 24 seconds, right in the beginning of the episode of Raw 268.
One thing I like how JR, like right at the start, refers to Undertaker as the standard bearer in WWF, which it's true even today. Like he's people, when you wrestle against the Undertaker, it's like, all right, he's the standard, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's like the face of WWF for years.
Yeah.
In 1998, it's only 7 years at that point, but 7 years back in 1998 is like a lifetime because wrestlers came in and out of WWF like a year, 2 years.
Yep.
Whereas today, somebody like Kofi Kingston has been around for 11 years, and it's like, oh, he's just around. That's what happens to the guys now, is that they just work there forever.
Yep.
It's not this cycling in and out, getting fired, or just like, all right, we're done with that character. See you later. They'll keep them on as something.
Yeah, they find work.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the problem too, is that their rosters are so huge, and whatever. Don't want to jump into that conversation again. So there is a common theme though that is going to be mentioned throughout this episode that JR points out right in this first match with Undertaker and Vader, is that Undertaker and Kane may have been in cahoots. Are they in cahoots? Are they in cahoots? Vince McMahon's going to ask him a bunch of times, are you in cahoots? Someone called Steve Austin's going to say, are you in cahoots with Kane? So it's just like, in cahoots is, I don't know. I was thinking like the episode title for this. It's like, all right, it's pretty easy to go fully loaded, but maybe it's going to be in cahoots because it gets brought up over and over again. Undertaker is working in cahoots with his brother Kane.
Yeah. And I think it's just Taker basically it's not showing his hand.
Yeah, that's you're right.
He's kind of like the puppet master of all this because no one knows. He's the wild card.
Hey, it's kind of like, well, I'm not going to answer your fucking questions about it, so shut up. I'm not going to tell you anything. Yeah. So if you want to think that, you can think that. Screw yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So there'll be numerous instances where that comes up later in this episode.
Yep.
So as I said, Undertaker just defeats Vader pretty easily here. You have Mankind and Kane. They come to ringside during this match, and they're going to actually head into the ring. Mankind's going to try to hit Undertaker, but Kane's going to grab the chair from Mankind, and then Kane's going to hit Vader. So you even have that there where it's like, oh, is Kane's like protecting his brother, and we have all this, Kane and Undertaker. We don't know what it is. They have this weird relationship where they hate each other, but because they're brothers, it's like nobody else can kick your ass. I have to kick your ass.
Yeah. That is exactly what it is.
All right, and from there, later on in the episode, we have a tag team championship match. So the New Age Outlaws, tag team champs, they're going to defend against Kane and Mankind. This is going to happen at the 50-minute mark of the episode. And the reason why Kane and Mankind are going up against New Age Outlaws is something that we talked about on a couple episodes ago, which was from Raw 264, which would be in the timeline 4 weeks ago at that point, where Kane and Mankind won a tag team Royal Rumble. So they did that whole Rumble-style match, and different tag teams came out every, 90 seconds or so.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and Kane and Mankind won it, and they got a title shot, and then they never talked about it again. And then all of a sudden now, it's like a month later, all right, tag team title match, Kane and Mankind. Yeah. It's like, oh, they're probably like, oh shit, we kind of forgot about that. Let's do that.
Someone must have pointed that out, and let's use it now.
Yeah, we got to do that. All right, perfect timing.
No expiration date on that card.
So you get that match, and Undertaker's music's gonna hit, and he's gonna come out to ringside, And it's kind of like what he does during the Stone Cold versus Kane World Championship match the night after King of the Ring, where Undertaker shows up and he doesn't say anything, he doesn't do anything, he just is kind of like looking over.
Yeah.
And like the enforcer role, just standing there just to be noticed. Like, yeah, I need to see what happens in this match.
Yeah, attention whore.
Right. So he comes down. The match is going to kick off with Road Dogg and Mankind. Chyna's going to get involved and whack Mankind with the tag team title. Get some back and forths with Billy Gunn and Mankind. Mankind's going to try to finish up the match early with the claw. Road Dogg's going to jump in to make the save with the mandible claw to prevent the mandible claw. And Kane's been outside the ring for a while at this point of the match, and he finally gets tagged in. And Billy Gunn's going to try to attack, but he ends up getting clothesline. And Billy Gunn's going to end up outside the ring just moments later and get tossed into the steel steps by Mankind. And then you have The Rock and Owen Hart up here. They show up. They're just on the ramp hanging out. This is at 54-minute mark on this episode of Raw. And the DX is going to show up just a minute later. So you got all these groups converging out there. You have
it's all the top. Yeah, the top groups.
Yeah, all the big names are all out there. Yep. And it's gonna end pretty quickly after that. With Kane's gonna tombstone Road Dogg. He's gonna get the pinfall. But what leads to that pinfall is because of all the different people out there. The ref gets distracted. And Kane's going to actually do a Russian leg sweep, which was pretty cool to see. He does a Russian leg sweep to Road Dogg, and then out of nowhere, D'Lo Brown has climbed up the top rope, and he does the frog splash right onto the Road Dogg, and then Kane's going to pick up Road Dogg and give him the tombstone. And that's how Kane and Mankind become tag team champions. So we get this title change here to start off the show. And DX is pretty pissed about it because the Nation screwed them. And as we know, the Nation and DX have been going back and forth, feuding for a while. And last week was the classic parody skit with Jason Sensation, which there'll be more about coming up shortly. So DX, like I said, is pretty heated about it. And they're going to tell Vince McMahon, something needs to be done about this. And Triple H is kind of in the lead there as the head of DX. Yep. And he's like, if the refs can't get it right, then you do it. You should be in there. So you can do it. Because Vince McMahon had just been ref a couple times recently. Yeah. He said, you're buff. You walk around here with no sleeves on. I've seen you ref before.
That was funny.
Yeah. So that gets Vince to start thinking, like, all right, what am I going to do here? All right, I have to address this. So he's going to have a little promo, which is going to involve The Undertaker and Austin. And then even DX will get involved in the later part of it. So we'll play that first part of it for you, about 5 minutes long. So we'll take a listen to what McMahon has to say about the goings-on with Undertaker, DX, Nation, and all this shit that just went down here. All right, take a listen.
Say no. I say no way.
Well, aren't we proud of ourselves as of late? My goodness, what won't you do to become the WWF champion? Let's just revisit Hell in the Cell, if we may. Look what you did to Mankind. The only hell was experienced by Mankind, not you. You were making a statement. No thing or nobody will get in your way of becoming the WWF champion. And then, notwithstanding you choke slamming just about every WWF superstar on the roster into oblivion, of course, then you had to go and pull that stunt of last week. And I must say, that was a bit of genius. You fooled everybody, including me. And I'm not easy to fool.
Right. Well.
However, the question is whether or not you are doing all of this on your own, or whether or not last week you had some help from your brother.
Here we go.
Now, you've refused to answer. Everyone else who's put the question to you, you won't refuse Vince McMahon. So now, The question is, Undertaker, are you in cahoots with your brother Kane? Answer me.
You want an answer?
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
You can go to hell.
Who do you think you are?
He's the Undertaker. Oh my! Oh my! Here comes business! They're picking up here! Here comes the rattlesnake! With a #1 contender in the ring, here comes the WWF champion!
Things are fixing to heat up.
But what's he doing out here?
The same thing he's always doing, whatever he wants.
Man, this is a shocker. Every time Mr. McMahon tries to conduct business, Stone Cold screws it up.
Stone Cold is
The Undertaker
business.
just told you to go to hell, so spin around, I'll kick you in the ass and give you a little head start. As far as The Undertaker goes, we are on the highway to hell right to SummerSlam for the WWF title, and I will say, at least you had the decency to challenge me man to man, face to face, and I can respect that. But there is a little problem, because on the way to SummerSlam, there is a little roadblock. It's me and you as partners against Kane and Mankind. So I don't know what the hell's going on with you and Kane, but what I want to know right now, is it going to be you and me against two opponents, or is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin against three opponents? All I want to know is where the hell you're coming from.
Now we're going to find out. Fair question. Look at Mr. McMahon, he's great.
You go to hell with him.
What?
Whoa.
All right, so what we have to start out with is Vince McMahon. He's going to come down to the ring, and it's tough at this point because you know the music he's going to have, and you know, no chance in hell and all that. It just like gets everybody to know, and Vince McMahon's coming out, and he's going to have shit to say. But at this point, he doesn't have any music, so it's kind of just like the crowd's like just humming and whatever, and he just comes out randomly.
Crowd background noise, yeah.
Right, just
Crowd
background noise, yeah.
I kind of like the natural of it, though. I don't know.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that, though. It is
Like,
here comes the boss. Yep.
Yeah.
But then eventually it's, oh shit, here's the boss.
yeah, actually, yeah, that does up the level of douchebaggery on Vince McMahon's part.
Yeah. All right, so Vince comes out, and he's going to call it the Undertaker immediately. And the Undertaker comes down, and he takes his sweet-ass time to get there, of course. And Vince McMahon's going to lay into him right away. He's like, oh, what, you want to become WWF champion? And nobody will get in your way. You chokeslam everybody.
Yeah, he's like buttering him up.
Right. But then he also said, you pulled a stunt. You fooled everybody. You even fooled me. And I'm not easy to fool. But then he gets to the question that pisses the Undertaker off. Are you in cahoots with your brother Kane? And Undertaker's just, like JV had said earlier, he's not going to show his hand.
Yep.
He's not going to give it. He's not going to say anything about it. He's like, you want an answer? You can go to hell. So Vince McMahon, he's going to try to be tough, but he is a little intimidated by the Undertaker. And so he's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah, I love how he does that part.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He's like stuttering.
His facial expressions and shit, yeah.
So at that point, you have a nervous Vince McMahon, You have Undertaker like kind of pissed off already, and then Stone Cold's music's gonna hit at the 1 hour 10 minute mark. So Austin comes down. Great line right off the bat is, Undertaker told you to go to hell. I'll turn around, I'll kick you in the ass and give you a head start. And then Austin just goes right into, we are on a highway to hell for the main event at SummerSlam. And at least you had the decency to challenge me face to face. So he's giving the Undertaker some respect there and some props that, you called me out. All right, fine, I can respect that. But we're going to be facing each other, and you want my belt. So, we're not going to be buddy-buddy all the time here.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has been announced that there will be this match coming up at Fully Loaded where Undertaker and Steve Austin have to team up to go against Kane and Mankind, who are now, at this point, tag team champions. And he wants to know, Austin wants to know, will it be 2-on-2 or will it be 3-on-1? Because there is that mystery, that's looming in the air. Is Undertaker in cahoots with Kane? What's really going on? He doesn't trust him. DTA. Don't trust anybody.
DTA, yeah, exactly.
And Undertaker follows that up with, well, you can go to hell with him. He just doesn't give an answer. He said, basically, fuck you to Vince McMahon, fuck you to Steve Austin. I'm not telling you. You guys can be all worked up. And that's the thing. Like, they're worrying and wondering about it. So if they're worrying and wondering about it, that distracts them from being the best that they can be.
Yep.
And the Undertaker's like, yeah, you want to think that? Just keep thinking that. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to make you feel better by saying, I'm your buddy. I got your back, Austin. Don't worry. It's like, no, I want you to be worried and concerned so that you're off your game.
Yep.
So that I can freaking play mind games with you, basically, and lead up to SummerSlam and beat you for the title.
Yeah, and Taker's always been great at mind games. So.
Yep. And then it doesn't end there. So the audio clip that we played, it ends at that point, but there is also a DX that come out. DX comes out just right after that, and they're out there for a couple minutes, and the New Age Outlaws, they want their rematch versus Kane and Mankind. They want it tonight. They're asking for it now.
They're pissed.
Triple H even says, there's going to be a rematch tonight, and then Vince makes the face like, oh, you're telling me? There's going to be a rematch? Like, oh, really? He didn't say those words, but that's what his face is saying. He's like, what? Who the hell are you? And it's funny, though, looking back now at it. It's like Triple H has been like the boss since that point.
At that point, like, he wasn't with Steph at this point.
No, I doubt it, right? Because she hadn't even been on TV really at all yet.
Yeah.
At this point. Probably not at all.
I didn't think so. I always forget that time.
Yeah. It's not until a little later.
If it was before or after, she was already like on television.
Yeah, it was definitely after.
Okay.
So the thing that helps Triple H sell this to Vince McMahon to get this rematch for the New Age Outlaws is that he says, you're going to find out if Kane and Undertaker are in cahoots. Goddamn cahoots. Everyone's saying cahoots.
Cahoots. Imagine if New Day was around back then. They'd make something funny out of that.
So Helmsley or Triple H says, you make this match, you can make it with 3 refs. You have standard ref in the ring, then you have Undertaker and Stone Cold as ringside enforcers.
Yeah.
And then Vince McMahon's like, oh, yeah, that works. He agrees to it. So they Triple H and DX follow that up with like, okay, thanks. And then we got 2 words for you, McMahon. Suck it.
Well played by Triple H there. Yeah. He's really finding his own.
Yeah. So that leads to another tag team title match we had at the beginning of the show, and then it's followed up right at the end. You have Kane and Mankind now as the tag team champions against New Age Outlaws. And you have Undertaker and Stone Cold as the special enforcers. This match is going to start at the 1 hour, 25-minute mark, and it's going to go right to the end of Raw. So Austin's going to head out there, and he has a beer in his hand. And I don't know if you noticed, but the beer cans had a skull on them. There were like stickers on them. I think they were covering up the Coors Light logo, because it was definitely a Coors Light can. It was that silver bullet type can.
Yep.
And you couldn't see the Coors Light logo, but there was a skull on there. Well, they probably didn't have a deal with Coors Light and just trying to play it safe at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
So the
Don't
match,
need that negative attention.
yeah. So the match starts off like pretty wild and crazy. The referee is Mike Chioda. He has no control.
Nope, none at all.
Yeah, it's just a shit show. The special referees, the ring enforcers, they're not doing jack shit. They don't care. They're just letting everybody kick the shit out of each other. Yeah, the New Age Outlaws attempt a double suplex on Mankind. Kane's going to clothesline both of them, which makes it look like Mankind takes a double DDT. So,
Oh, yeah, it does. His head hits the ramp very hard.
yeah. So that was pretty crazy. So if you want to check that out, that's at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 54 seconds. So take a look at that.
HBK, who's here for commentary.
That's right.
He shows up at the start of this Raw. Joins JR and Lawler on commentary. So he's on commentary for this match. And after that spot, he's like, that Mankind couldn't buy a break. And he couldn't be more right.
Yeah, he's just getting his ass kicked all the time.
Yeah. After everything, King of the Ring and all that, like, Jesus.
Yeah. Now, so it is pretty good action, and they finally make their way back into the ring. You have the back and forth. The Road Dogg is stuck in the ring for a little while. When Kane and Mankind have some good tag team action, they're tagging back and forth. And Billy Gunn runs in frustrated, like, what the fuck, am I ever going to get in this match? And the ref actually allows for Billy Gunn to stay in the match. And Road Dogg goes to the apron, and there was no tag made, which was just weird. And it makes sense when you're watching it because it leads to a spot that had been planned out. The ref ends up in the corner dealing with Road Dogg, while Road Dogg is supposed to be in the ring because he never tagged Billy Gunn in.
Yeah.
But anyway, the referee's like pushing him back. All right, you're in the corner. And then Mankind gets whipped right into that corner, crushes the ref, and then Billy Gunn ends up crushing into the ref, so it's like a double whammy to Mike Chioda. So he's out. Austin's going to pull the ref out of the ring, and Road Dogg's going to attempt an inside cradle on Kane. And then Austin notices, and he goes to make the count. But then Undertaker pulls Austin out of the ring. And they're going to argue about it, of course. The Undertaker is preventing his brother's team from losing the title, basically.
Yep.
So Austin's like, what the fuck's going on here? And then while that's happening, while they're arguing, Kane chokeslams Road Dogg. Undertaker goes to make a 3 count. Now Undertaker's jumping in to try to make the 3 count for his brother Kane so that they can keep their titles. Austin pulls Undertaker off. Is like, screw you. You just took me off. I'm taking you off.
Yeah, yep.
And then while they're arguing, Kane's going to cheap shot Austin. So this just further fuels the conspiracy of the in cahoots between Undertaker and Kane. And Undertaker attacks Mankind. But then we have all the groups come back. You get DX and the Nation. They run out. So now you get a shit show in the ring to end the show. And Austin's going to go on a stunning spree. It's going to stun Kane. It's going to stun Billy Gunn, D'Lo Brown. As always, there's no stunner party without D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
And then Mark Henry gets stunned. Then the Undertaker, he goes on a chokeslam fest. He chokeslams Triple H, Owen Hart, and poor Mark Henry, who already took a stunner. Now he's going to get chokeslammed. He's paying his dues at that point. So basically, you have nothing revolved. The mystery of Undertaker's intentions is just still up in the air. And, the titles don't change because you have DQ situation, basically. And Kane and Mankind remain tag team champions. And you just got a shit show. And it looks like The Undertaker and Kane have something going on, but we're not sure at this point. So, anything you want to talk about before we move on to the side notes for this episode?
This is how you do a go home. It's a go home show, right?
No, almost.
Oh,
So-
that's the next episode.
Yeah, the next one's the go home.
Well, the chaos here is just awesome. Like it kind of fuels everything going forward, and it really builds.
You're
really
right. It does have that feel of the go home type of ending,
Yeah.
where everybody's in the ring at the end. Shit show, and it's a mystery. But it wasn't the go home. So
I was wrong there.
They probably were better off using this as the go home.
Yeah, right.
But with the side notes, as you said, Shawn Michaels makes his return.
Hey,
And
we can cut that part.
no.
No? All right, we got to cut this part now.
No, they can hear the bullshit.
Oh, it's because I ate that stupid brownie.
Fucking brownies.
Yeah, Jesus.
Too many walnuts. You can't have walnuts.
No, there aren't any walnuts in there. I'd be
Better
dead.
not be.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear me talking at all.
No.
JV, you there? No.
All right, so with Shawn Michaels, as you said, he made his return, and this is his first appearance since getting knocked out at WrestleMania 14. So this is, 4 months later?
Yeah.
Yeah, March to July. Yep. And he's back, and he's got a little haircut. He's got his little Dutch boy haircut. He's got like a bob. He's got a bob haircut.
It's funny.
It's like, what the fuck goes up with that haircut?
Yeah, it's a good name for it.
He actually comes out to his HBK music. He doesn't come out to DX. So it's like he's not part of DX anymore.
Yep.
So yeah, that was cool to see. I mean, crowd was pumped for him. Which is crazy though, because he left as like this big heel against Austin. Now he returns and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, woohoo, he's back!"
Yeah.
You know, and that's the good thing about wrestling though, is that if you just leave for a little while, people want you back.
Yeah.
If you're always just hanging around, then people just get sick
They
of you.
get tired of you. Yeah.
All right, so we got the brawl for all continues. You have Bart Gunn versus Bob Holly. The brawl for all. I don't know if you watched any of these brawl for all matches, but
No, I did. I watched this one. Bart Gunn wins 15-0.
yeah, he kicks the shit out of Bob Holly.
Yeah, his reach was too much. Holly couldn't do shit.
Yeah, Holly could not do a damn thing, and you could tell like at the end of the match, Bob Holly was so pissed that he got his ass
he pushes
kicked.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
he hits him with like a cheap shot.
Yeah, he gives him a cheap shot at the end. Bart tries. Their partners at this point is the New Midnight Express.
Yep.
And Bart tries to like tap gloves to show respect, and Bob Holly's so frustrated and pissed, throws a punch at him.
Punch at him.
Bob Holly's trying to be like this big tough
Yeah.
guy, or thinks he's this tough guy, and then Bart Gunn owned his ass.
Yeah.
Which is the thing with this whole brawl for all, is that it ruins some people's reputations of being tough guys
Yeah.
because they're gonna get punked, by somebody else. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a winner and there's gonna be a loser. So one person is leaving the legit loser, even if you tried to sell them as being this big bad tough guy before. They're just not gonna seem like that after they get their ass beat.
Nope.
And that's the thing with the next match for the brawl for all that was pretty shaky. Is that
This was shady.
you had Dan Severn, Ultimate Fighter, big time Ultimate Fighter, and that's what he's being sold as. That's his whole gimmick, is that he's this Ultimate Fighter. He goes up against Godfather, and Godfather puts up a damn good fight against him. And so they didn't show the score throughout like the entire match. Dan Severn versus Godfather. So that was kind of shady. That
Yeah. I it's noticeable like right from the get-go.
right, because Godfather's putting up a good fight, and Severn's not really doing shit.
Because these are supposed to be legit fights.
Right. These. Right. They're shoot fights.
And
So Godfather's
Dan
kinda-
Severn's a UFC champion or whatever he was.
Right.
Like,
And Godfather's holding his own, but they don't want Godfather to beat him. because
absolutely not. No way.
then that fucks Dan Severn from this point on.
Yep. he would have failed sooner.
Yeah. Well,
He failed, but he didn't really fail, didn't he? Like kind of quit.
yeah. They just gave up on him. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to protect his ass here by just giving him the win. Basically, is what they did.
Yeah.
Because I think I might have to go back and like count up the points on my own. But I thought the Godfather had a pretty good claim for a win there. But if they could have went with that, and it would have been smart if they went with that as Godfather beating this UFC guy. Like our guys are better than UFC guys.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to do that at that point. And also, it would make sense because they had just highly touted the Godfather, who was Kama, as being the supreme fighting machine when he came in as like this ultimate fighter
Yep.
back in '95.
I think we covered that in one of our earlier episodes, one of our first episodes. He's around as
Yeah, he's
the
Kama,
fighting machine.
the supreme fighting machine. Yeah,
Yeah, just 2 years ago. So.
right when Austin comes in, he's still Kama,
Yep.
the fighting machine. But yeah, so that's the Brawl for All for this week. And the other thing that's annoying about the Brawl for All is that this is supposed to be like a tournament, but there's no fucking brackets ever. You don't know.
They showed them once. I thought there were brackets, and then there were no more brackets.
I don't think they showed a bracket at all.
No,
My
I
recollection.
I swore they did,
But maybe they did.
and they just kind of like dropped it.
I know they showed a graphic of Brawl for All, but I didn't see. I don't think I've seen a tournament bracket. So they're just having these matches randomly. And that's leading me to think, like, is this like just every week they're like, all right, who wants to do it? Does anybody want to do it? Is anybody willing to just fight this week?
Eddie Gunn got beef in the locker room. They want to square up right now.
It'll probably be like after they do 8 matches that they're like, all right, now we can show a bracket.
Yeah.
Because now you guys are in. You can't back down now. You won, so you're in. But yeah, they're kind of just going by the seat of their pants, flying by the
I
seat of their
wonder how
pants.
this went over. Are there any documentaries on this?
There is an episode of Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard
Yeah.
where he talks about this. It's one of their first episodes where he just goes through the whole thing, the whole setup of it. And I need to go back and listen to it because it's been a while since it came out, like 3 years ago. But now that I'm watching this Brawl for All, I should go back and listen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one
Get
out.
the details. So from there now, you get to the last. One of the last segments here is they show you, basically they're going to show the whole DX as the Nation promo again, like little clippets, like the greatest hits of it. And JR is going to mention that Jason Sensation stole the show, and they're saying that because he did.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
But Jason Sensation is going to be on commentary with them right now. And Jerry Lawler is like a little kid, like asking him to do a bunch of impersonations. Oh, can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah. So he's doing them all. He's doing it pretty good. The funny thing, when he does Bret Hart, he almost like turns into Bret Hart. You think?
He does, because he kind of looks like him.
Yeah, he's got the dark hair.
I thought the same thing.
It's like, oh shit, he just turned into Bret Hart. He does Shawn Michaels, he does the Undertaker, and you can see like the other guys in like production, like the timekeeper and shit, sitting back and they're hearing it and they're just like cracking up. So it's pretty cool. But I was like thinking when I was watching him, I was like, this kid looks young. I wanted to know how old he was. And I look it up. He's fucking 35 years old at this point. 35.
Yeah. What was he? Who was he? Was he a comedian?
I
only know him from this. I don't know him from any.
Yeah, I don't know the whole background on it.
A comic or something?
I don't think he was. I think that he must have had some connection with a wrestler that knew he did impersonations, but
yeah,
I'd have to look more into it. But at this point, he's already 35 years old. He doesn't look it. Looks younger than that. But Owen Hart, who he insulted big time with the big nose, Owen Hart was only 33, so he's actually older than Owen Hart.
That's funny.
And Owen Hart is pissed off, and he's gonna go down to ringside right while Jason Sensation's doing all the different impersonations. Oh, what the hell is one of them? He's doing Owen Hart, and he's like, my nose. I'm an aardvark, but he's like, I was late, but my nose was here 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
just stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, Owen Hart goes down after that, and is like, I'm fed up with this shit. He slaps Jason Sensation, and JR is like, he's just a kid. He's just a kid, which is just funny now that he wasn't a kid. He was actually older than Owen Hart.
Older than Owen Hart. That's funny.
And he's JR is putting you off as he's a 20-year-old, which is you could buy because he's not a big guy, and he looks young.
Yeah.
So, That was just funny to point out. It's like, yeah, he's not actually a kid. He's 35 years old. He's older than most of the wrestlers.
Yeah, he's a seasoned vet right now.
Yeah. So DX is going to come down, and they're going to help him out. And this is going to lead to a match between The Rock and Owen are going to tag against Triple H and X-Pac. And X-Pac's actually going to get a pinfall over The Rock with an X Factor, which is going to play into the storyline going forward. And then the last thing there is you get more of the Val Venus and Yamaguchi-san dilemmas going on here. And we had the wife, Yamaguchi-san's wife, last week sitting ringside. And she was, kind of feeling Val Venus's vibes, just looking down at his crotch, acting like she didn't like it. And it's going to continue here. So Val Venus is going to announce that he has a new movie out. He's got the Land of the Rising Venus. And Shawn Michaels' response is great on commentary. He's, I love these things. I got a ton of these at home. Porn movies. So it's revealed that he's getting a blowjob, which doesn't make much sense because they have it all blurred out. And there's no reason to blur it out because the girl is underneath the sheets.
Under the covers, yeah. Unless they were trying to just blur out the motion.
Yeah, maybe it was like the head going up and down or something.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. But then, as the sheets come off, they take away the blurriness, the censor, and then it's Yamaguchi-san's wife. Why would she accept doing that if she was like afraid of like the fallout from it? She's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, here I am. And then she's acting like she's all sorry the next week. It's like, what? You did a fucking video.
She's a special kind of.
You did like one of those fucking revenge porn videos. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show my husband. Fuck you, I'm gonna suck this guy's dick.
Yeah.
That's basically what she did. And then the next week she's like, oh no, nothing.
I didn't do nothing. What the fuck you mean, bitch? They just show that shit on a fucking Titantron or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. Titantron. All right, so did you have any other side notes? It was probably most of them there.
Oh, well, yeah. Charles Way and Tyrone Wheatley said starting running backs from the New York Giants sit in front row.
Oh. Right.
And it's funny because I was like, I guess the Giants weren't good that year.
They had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Well, this is July, so this is just before training camp.
No, but I'm saying they weren't like these guys weren't the best running backs. Like, obviously they were good. They made it to the NFL, but they weren't like.
Yeah, they're not standouts. Not stars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so now this brings us to the go-home show for Fully Loaded. This is Raw 269, July 20th, 1998. And it's going to start off with a promo from Mr. McMahon. And we're not going to play it for you, but we'll talk about it. Basically, what you have is McMahon coming out, and he has an agenda that he's going to set. He says, tonight is a night for reflection, respect, and retribution. And he's going to talk about each one of those over this segment. So he wants
thunderous to start boos from the crowd too.
Yeah, big time. So he wants to start with reflection. And he wants to reflect on the recent events of the Undertaker. Then they're going to cut the clips, after like everything he says. So he says, I'm going to reflect on recent events of the Undertaker. Then they cut to the Undertaker dressed as Kane, stealing that title shot, basically being sneaky about it to get that title shot. So Vince McMahon says, where was Kane that night? Was Kane tied up somewhere? Which is a good thing to bring out because, where the hell was Kane? Like, if they're not in cahoots, then where was he? Yeah. Why does Undertaker have his clothes? And McMahon mentions that here. He's like, what did Undertaker do? Go to the Sears department store and say, I'll have a Kane suit, please. Just like, that's what people would be thinking.
Yeah. Really?
So that was perfect. And so he said, did Undertaker work in conjunction with his brother? Then they show the Go to Hell segment from the previous week, where Undertaker tells him to go to hell. And then it cuts to Undertaker saving Kane from being pinned in the tag title match. So Vince McMahon says, anyone getting my drift? Undertaker decides to count his brother to victory. So they cut to that video clip where Kane attacks Austin while they're arguing face to face, the little cheap shot. So it's just, expounding on this whole idea that there's this conspiracy. Undertaker and Kane are in cahoots. So Vince calls out the Undertaker to answer the question. Can I answer this question? Are you in cahoots with each other? So that continues on. So Undertaker comes out. So now Vince says, it's time to talk about respect. All right, so you have reflection, now respect. When you told me to go to hell, that hurt my feelings. So Vince McMahon's feelings were hurt because he was told to go to hell. So Vince McMahon is going to kind of give Undertaker the treatment that he gave Stone Cold, that he even kind of gave to Mankind or Mick Foley. If you want to be a champion, you need to start showing proper respect to the right people.
Yeah,
you need
respect
me.
my authority.
Right.
Conform. Get in line.
Yeah.
Fall in line.
I said, last week your actions were disrespectful. I won't take it anymore. I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you in cahoots with your brother Kane? So McMahon is getting a little testy at this point. He says, answer me, goddammit! And then he kind of just backs off right away. He's like, I'll have your way then. Let's move on to Retribution. Because Undertaker looks pissed, and he's like, all right, never mind.
Yeah. Let's make believe that didn't happen.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Move on. Next topic. Retribution.
You didn't hear that, right?
So he says Retribution. He goes, I don't want to do this to you, but you made me. It hurts me as much as it hurts you. That old line, like a parent would give. Like, this hurts me to do this.
Selfish line. Yeah.
Hurts me more than it hurts you for me to do this to you. But what he says is, you're going to be in that corner, and in the other corner, it's Mankind and your brother Kane. Ding, ding, ding. Which is great. That little ding, ding, ding. Like,
Yeah, it was.
you're going to have a match. And then he says, now you may have your leave. You may leave. And then he even gets even testier at this point. Undertaker, you can go to hell. So Undertaker's like, fuck this shit. Undertaker is not going to put up with that. He's going to chokeslam McMahon, which is the second time that he's done this. But this was a big moment. Probably bigger than the last time he chokeslammed him. Because it's been building up even more since that point. And then the Stooges run in. Briscoe and Sarge, they get chokeslammed. Patterson gets chopped to the neck, and he just goes down. So I don't know if the Undertaker and Pat Patterson are buddies, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to give you a chokeslam. But Patterson just gets a little chop to the neck instead of the chokeslam. And you get the Stooges, they're arguing with each other. McMahon trips over Patterson, and then everyone's yelling at Pat Patterson after that. It looked like it might have been an accident, and they just kept rolling with it.
Yeah, that's what I think it was, too.
Yeah. And then just a little later in the show, at 47 minutes, Undertaker is seen leaving the building, and he's supposed to have this match with Kane and Mankind, a handicap match. And he left. And he told Michael Cole on the way out, I'll see you at Fully Loaded. I'll see you on Sunday. So Undertaker's hightailing out of there. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm not having that match. Which again goes back to the whole, is there a conspiracy? Now Undertaker's not gonna have this match because he's in it with Kane? Is that why he's just leaving and blowing it off? More mind games from the Undertaker. So this is gonna lead us to
still in control. Still in control.
Yeah. Fucking running the show at this point. So now we get to an Austin promo, in-ring interview with JR. And McMahon's going to come down and interrupt her pretty quickly into it. And take a listen. It's only a few minutes, so take a listen and we'll talk about it right after that.
A lot of controversy and confusion over whose side The Undertaker is on. And now apparently he has left the arena here. But one thing that I know is this Sunday you're going to go into a war with a man that you don't know is going to be for you or against you when you meet Kane and Mankind. After what has happened last week and tonight, what's on your mind? What are you thinking about this whole situation this Sunday?
The first thing that's on my mind is you got some bad breath.
Oh.
As far as The Undertaker goes, going into Fully Loaded this Sunday, you damn right, I would like to know, as I said last week, is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker against Mankind and Kane, or is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus all three of them? That's what I would like to know. Either way you look at it, I'm rolling in to Fully Loaded to beat somebody's ass, whether I got help or not. As far as The Undertaker taking off in his car and hauling ass out of here, I don't know if he left because he didn't want to fight his brother Kane, or maybe because he simply wanted to screw Vince McMahon before Vince McMahon could screw him. And I can tell you this, if anybody deserves to be screwed, it is Vince McMahon.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Screwed? Screw Vince McMahon? I deserve to be screwed?
If you think he deserves to be screwed, give me a hell yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. If anyone's going to do any screwing here tonight, it's going to be me, Austin, not you. And that means that in that very ring later here tonight, the ring in which you're standing, instead of The Undertaker facing Mankind and Kane, it's going to be you.
Well, that's not fair. Why not? Either way, it's not fair.
I don't think it's going to be that simple, jackass, because it's like this. You're not going to come out here and just say, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, just like I'm on a puppet on a string. I got nothing to prove against Kane or Mankind because I done beat them both in this very ring, so I ain't going to do it.
What? You're not going to do it?
No, I ain't going to do it. Hell, as far as I'm concerned, I can get in my car and go down the same damn highway that The Undertaker went down.
Well, then let me just say this. If that happens and you leave and follow The Undertaker, then tonight you will force me to strip you of the WWF Championship and put it around the waist of The Undertaker as much as I hate him.
Whoa!
You can keep on throwing all the bureaucratic BS at me because it really doesn't make a damn to Steve Austin. Mankind, Kane tonight, I'm going to beat their ass. And I'm going to tell you what, when I get through with that, when I get backstage, I am going to beat the living shit out of you. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if The Undertaker meant to or not, but his meaning has put Austin in a hell of a jackpot.
All right, so Stone Cold comes out there. He's trying to bounce from corner to corner like he does. JR standing in one of the corners. Austin gives him like the get the hell out of the way look. Get the hell out of the way. I'm trying to climb up the second rope, you dumbass. Like, you know I do this. He gives him the long hard stare. And then we get this interview started, and JR asks Stone Cold, what's on your mind in regards to this Sunday? And he has to partner with Undertaker, but whose side is he really on? And Austin's response is just great. The first thing that's on my mind is you got some bad breath.
Calls him out.
Which is funny. Like, maybe it was true. Maybe his breath really stunk, and Austin was just like wanted to say it.
It did. Your breath sucks.
Dude, your breath stinks. Fuck off.
You're hot garbage.
So Austin says in regards to that, you're damn right. I want to know if Stone Cold and Undertaker versus Mankind and Kane, or is it going to be Stone Cold versus all three of them? That's what I'd like to know. But he says, regardless, I'm rolling into Fully Loaded to whoop somebody's ass. I don't know why the Undertaker left, because I didn't want to fight his brother Kane. So he's not sure. Like, why is the Undertaker leaving? Why did he leave? He wants to know if he's being screwed. And he says if anybody deserves to be screwed, it shouldn't be him. It needs to be Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon should be screwed. Mm-hmm. So Vince McMahon hears that. It's like, screw Vince McMahon.
Someone talking shit.
Yeah, right. He's like, screw Vince McMahon. I deserve to be screwed. Bullshit. You know. And then Austin says, "Well, yeah, let's see what the crowd thinks. If you think he deserves to be screwed, give me a hell yeah." And of course, you get the hell yeah. That's all people have been waiting to do all night. Is probably give a holy hell yeah.
Sitting on their hands. Yay! Finally.
Right. Yay! Hell yeah! So now Vince McMahon's going to come at him like, all right, so since The Undertaker ran away and abandoned this match, well, instead of Undertaker facing Mankind and Kane, it's going to be you. And Austin's obviously like, what the fuck? And he's going to accept it, though. He's going to be pretty cool about it and just be like, all right, fine, I'll do it. So Vince is going to threaten him, if you don't do it, I'll take your title away. So Vince is going to even add that level to it. Whereas Austin, like I said, it was kind of just like, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever, I'll kick their ass. I'm here to kick somebody's ass. And he's going to add that little caveat that, all right, well, if you don't do it, just so you know, you're going to lose the title. So Austin says he's fine.
The trump card.
Yeah. So Austin's fine. He'll get both their asses. And once he's through with them, he'll go backstage and beat the living shit out of you. Out of Vince McMahon. And that's the bottom line.
He's like, keep throwing all that bureaucratic bullshit at me.
Yeah. All right, so Austin says basically, he's not a puppet on a string. He's gonna do things his way. And he'll take care of their asses and then Vince McMahon. That leads us to the match, which happens at the 1 hour 29-minute mark, which means that there's probably like 4 minutes left in the episode. So we get handicap match, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kane and Mankind, the WWF champion versus the WWF Tag Team Champions. Austin's going to come right out. Mankind is standing outside the ring already, and Austin's just going to go right to him and knock him down with the belt. Austin holds his own pretty early on. This is pretty cool for a handicap match because Austin's just like back and forth between Kane and Mankind holding his own.
Yeah, yep, with the vest on.
Yep. And he tosses Kane into the steel steps, and he gives a nice running lariat to Mankind. Tries to get a quick cover, and like you had just said, all while his vest is on. So
yep.
He's just right into the action. He's in ass kicking mode at this point, and Mankind gets the mandible claw on him actually, and he's gonna break free from it with an Irish whip, which is a common move that Austin does. He's had a few matches with Mankind at this point. That's one of their common spots is the mandible claw into an Irish whip. And they both fall out of the ring at that point. And then you get Kane and Austin going at it a little bit. You got the Luthez press, series of punches. You get an elbow drop. And Mankind's going to pull Austin out of the ring. So Mankind's kind of sneaking around the ring and grabs Austin as he bounces off the ropes. They battle outside briefly. They head back into the ring. Austin's going to give a stunner to Kane. He's going to attempt a stunner, rather. And he gets pushed into Mankind. Undertaker comes down at this point at 1 hour, 32 minutes. So not much time left in the episode. And Undertaker has a steel chair with him. So people, you'd be wondering at this point, who's he going to attack? Is the Undertaker
coming to the ring armed?
Right. Is he going after Austin? Is he going after Mankind? Kane? What is it? What's the Undertaker doing? So it's leaving shit up for speculation. So he ends up in Austin's corner, though. So he goes into his corner like it's a tag team match. And this was never intended to be a tag team match because that's what the match is at Fully Loaded, which is weird.
I thought the same thing. Like, what? This is...
Right. This is the same exact match you're about to have.
Yeah.
Right. This is the main event for Fully Loaded. What are you doing? This was set up as a handicap match. Handicap match, Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind, or Stone Cold versus Kane and Mankind, not a tag team match. And they don't say anything about it. And the ref's just like, okay, I guess this is a tag team match now. So Undertaker's standing in the corner. And Kane assumes the position, too, like it's a tag team match. So Kane's even accepting, like, okay, it's a tag team match now. It never was. So stupid. And the ref doesn't even say anything about it either. He just falls right into line. Okay, you guys want this to be a tag team match? Okay, it is. Fucking stupid. Anyway, Paul Bearer is going to nail Austin with his shoe outside of the ring. And that leads to a chair shot to the gut from Mankind, and Undertaker is not helping Austin at all. He's just standing there in his corner, doing nothing. And that leads to action back in the ring. Austin's going to nail Mankind with a stunner. Austin goes for a cover, but Kane's going to break it up, and he nails Mankind in the process, though.
Yep.
So Austin's going to start to hammer away at Kane. He attempts an Irish whip, but that gets reversed, and Kane gets into a grasp of the choke slam, like he's about to do a choke slam, and Austin kicks him in the nuts 3 times. So not once, not twice, but fucking 3 times. And the whole time he's gradually pushing him to the corner, and Taker lifts the chair that he has, and Austin is about to stun Kane, but then he notices the chair. Austin notices the chair about to come down on who looks to be him. He ducks out of the way, and then Undertaker nails Kane with the chair. So you can kind of view it 2 ways. Like, it plays out like the Undertaker hit Kane with the steel chair that he intended to, but you can also interpret it as he meant to hit Austin, but Austin ducked the last second.
Yeah.
So it still leaves it up for speculation. Like, what the fuck's the Undertaker doing? Is he trying to hit Kane, or was he trying to hit Austin? Good shit.
Yeah.
Very cool. So the match ends right there with the DQ. You get this mystery still going on into the pay-per-view. So another, JV said it earlier with the first episode of Raw that, that was a good go-home show, but both of these would have been good, go-home shows. 2 good endings to lead to that match. So just good shit back then.
Hell yeah.
Building up to a pay-per-view. So you have ultimately what
that
happens.
was the way you close a go-home show.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right. So ultimately what happens is after Undertaker whacks Kane, misses Austin, and Austin's going to whack Mankind. But then he's also going to whack Undertaker too. Like, yeah, fuck you. It's like, I believe you were trying to hit me with the chair, so fuck yourself. I'm going to hit you.
Kick rocks, buddy.
Yeah. So I don't care if you're trying to pretend like you were going to hit Kane. I don't trust you. That's DTA. Don't trust anybody. JR even says it. He says that's his motto. So DTA for sure there. And that's what he's going with leading into the fully loaded. So you got 2 partners not knowing if they can trust each other. They shouldn't be able to trust each other because Austin's going to be defending the title against him just a month later. All right, so now that brings us to the side notes. And we have you got DX. DX is going to be involved in a few things going on in the side notes. And the first thing is a European title match. You got Triple H versus D'Lo Brown. And the thing that I wanted to bring up about this is that we talked about it last week, how D'Lo Brown is wearing like the catcher's equipment chest protector.
Yep.
And it had Rawlings on the back, and I told you I noticed the Rawlings.
Yeah, you did. You did say that.
So on this week's episode of Raw, he took the Rawlings tag off. So it's removed. It's the same chest protector, but now the Rawlings is gone. So it's like they noticed, like, ah, shit, that looks cheap.
Putting skulls on course can.
Right.
They had to cover it up too. Maybe they couldn't be rocking Rawlings.
Yeah. So in that match, what you have is the Rock's going to give Triple H the rock bottom when the referee's distracted. D'Lo's going to win the European Championship, which I thought was cool because D'Lo had been, busting his ass. He's the longest member of the nation. Of all that are in the nation at this point, he's there first.
Yep.
And, so I thought he deserved the title. Maybe he'll bring some actual respect to that championship, even though, again, every single time that title has changed hands other than the initial tournament with Bulldog and Owen Hart, it's just been bullshit title changes. And this one is too. But I was happy with the new champion, somebody that kind of deserves it.
Yeah, and he's genuinely happy backstage to have the title.
Right.
You can kind of see it in his face. So,
yep.
That's a big deal for these guys. Like, get a belt, young guy like him. That was a good moment for him.
Yep. So right from there, Triple H is going to promise The Rock that he's not going to leave with the IC title. So there's going to be a match later on where The Rock has to defend this IC title against X-Pac. And then X-Pac calls The The Rock a biatch, which I thought was funny because I hadn't heard biatch in a long time.
Yeah. It's not one you hear every day now.
And another notable thing about this episode is the first time we get "I'm a Nugget" chants in the crowd. So basically, Jason Sensation created the Nugget thing there. It was brought up before, obviously, when Shawn Michaels said Owen Hart's like the little nugget that doesn't get flushed down the toilet.
Yep.
But it hadn't been brought up in a while since that, and Jason Sensation used it in the skit. I'm not a nugget. So the crowd's now doing "I'm Nugget" chants, and Owen Hart even gets on the mic. He's like playing along with it. I'm not a nugget. I'm not a nugget. This shows like what a sport he is and like how smart he is to the business too. Like, I can use this now. This is gonna help me.
Yep.
They're saying something about me. I gotta recognize it, not be, all shitty about it. Just embrace it and be like, all right, I can use this now.
It's attention. Yeah.
Right. Then you had that IC title match later in the night, The Rock versus X-Pac, which is pretty cool. Pretty good match overall. And I thought it wasn't anything like too great. I mean, the action was good. I thought it would have been cool if X-Pac won the title. It would have been nice to see a double switch of the title. It would have been a cool storyline. Yeah. Like, you screwed the Nation. Well, you screwed DX, and now the Nation gets screwed. You just exchange titles, basically.
I like that they didn't go that route, though.
Oh, no?
Yeah, because I think that way is a little bit more predictable.
Yeah, it probably is.
I guess I bet you it's split 50-50, though. It really kind of depends.
Yeah, because it did look like The Rock was going to lose it, but then they got the best of it. Like, they got to keep both the titles. They got the European, and now they have the IC title still.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a fuck damnation. Screw them.
Yeah. And they're trying to push DX as more facey.
Right. Yeah, so Nation's more of the heel team.
Yeah.
And they're coming away with the
DX
titles.
Chasing. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Probably a good route to go. Just part of me was like, it would have been nice to see X-Pac with the IC title.
Yeah, no, I hear you, for sure. Like, that would have changed things a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so one of the last things, though, that definitely needs to be mentioned, since we like to talk about tits, is there's a sign in the crowd at 1 hour 25-minute mark, and you get this hot chick, and so it makes me assume right away that this is a plant because there's no hot chicks like that going to wrestling back in 1998. She got the DX shirt on. She has a sign that says, "Hey DX, suck these." And you get 2 arrows pointing down to her tits. So HBK is on commentary. I love this job. And then Triple H tells people to get out of the way. He's like moving people with his hand. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. And Triple H like lifts up his shirt. Well, kind of like pretends to lift up his shirt. Like, show him.
Yeah,
show him. And then she shows the bra. And then he's like, no. And then she takes them all the way. And if you go to the 1 hour 27-minute 23-second mark, you're gonna see the guys' reactions around her.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
And they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. One of the, I think it's a dude to her back right, just like jumps in, like is super excited. It's funny. He's like taken back by it. It's great. Is there an uncensored pic of that?
Oh, I don't know. But it was funny because on the Hall of Fame, when they get inducted, DX got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
just this past weekend, they were showing some.
That too.
They were showing some video, actually not video clips, but they showed pictures, and they showed that chick, and they brought up was like, "Oh, that was the first one to show their boobs on TV to us." So they like remembered. Like, oh, that was the first titties.
They looked nice too.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely have to try to find those. Try to find those.
Later, creep.
All right. Well, since we've been covering this Brawl for All tournament,
yeah,
term,
going to continue the most extensive coverage of Brawl for All in the history of wrestling podcasts.
Right. So in this first match, you got Quebecer Pierre, who hasn't been around forever.
Nope.
Haven't Yeah, it's been like over a year since he's had a match. And then you have just randomly the debut of Dr. Death Steve Williams. And that would have sucked like if he debuts and loses.
Yeah, because this is legitimate, right? Like
Right.
he's fighting for a job.
Yeah. If he just fucking loses, it's just done. It's over.
Yeah.
He lost to Pierre, who nobody remembers. So anyway, Dr.
There's
Death
no
does
way
win.
these things were legitimate. Obviously, they weren't. We know they weren't.
No, they weren't? Well, from what I've
Ken
heard
Severn
is that
lost and they gave him the
shoots.
win. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that
I
one,
think
yeah.
so.
That's shady right there, though. That Severn
Yeah.
Godfather. That was
I'm
shady.
not buying. I'm not buying the legitimacy of this.
I know. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, how can we believe that something was actually a shoot in wrestling?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't believe it.
Anyway, so Dr. Death wins the match. Dr. Death looks like shit in this match. His like guts hanging out of his unitard. I think that's what you call that. Was that a unitard?
Yeah, he needed some like DDP yoga or something.
Well, even Pierre too. Yeah, that was a shitty match. Then you get 8 Ball against Too Cold Scorpio, and Scorpio wins, which was cool because 8 Ball is like a neo-Nazi, so he probably hated Too Cold Scorpio. So it's nice, Too Cold Scorpio beats him up.
Yeah, hell yeah. Screw 8 Ball.
Right.
Guy
fuck him.
sucks.
And the thing with this match, though, is it wasn't even actually showed. It was just highlights from it. It was like earlier in the night as a dark match. At that point, they should have just known, like, all right, this is done. We're showing like highlights from a dark match.
Yeah.
Like we don't even actually want to show this match live. That's how bad this shit is. So they should just fucking ended it. But anyway, that's fucking Brawl for All. And then we get the Yamaguchi-san saga continues. He's gonna punish his wife in the ring for sucking Val Venus off, and she's got to do what is known as the crawl of shame. She needs to get down on her knees and crawl underneath.
This is so crazy.
Yamaguchi-san's legs.
I was like, what the fuck?
And he has a paddle. Yamaguchi-san has a paddle, and he's supposed to whack her on the ass as she crawls under his legs. And it's funny because like JR mentions it, like it's the crawl of shame, like that's like a legit thing, like and he knows of it.
Yeah, right. Like he's used it before.
The crawl of shame. So anyway, that crawl of shame doesn't actually happen. Val Venus shows up, takes the paddle, and starts whacking everybody with it. All the Kain Tai. And then that brings us to one last side note. Is a pretty damn good one. It's worth going back to check out. Is Jacqueline cutting a promo on Sable, and they go back and forth at it. And Sable comes out wearing like some baggy ass dress. And they're gonna have a big match, not a match, but they're gonna have a contest.
Yeah, bikini contest.
Yeah,
swimsuit.
Yeah, swimsuit. Yeah, swimsuit contest, bikini contest. And Jacqueline calls Sable a skank. Ho ho! She rips off like the big dress, and Sable ends up in her bra and panties.
Yeah, matching black.
Yep, look pretty damn good. And Jerry Lawler's going all nuts, horn dog. And Mark Merrill's in the ring at that point, but you don't see it because the camera's all fucked up, I guess, not in the right spot. Edge attacks Mark Merrill and then heads back into the crowd, so it's kind of just random. The Edge comes out.
Dude just goes to the crowd.
Yeah, attacks Mark Merrill.
What a shitty coworker. You can't even come down the ramp, bro. You gotta come through the crowd near me.
All right, so now, anything else? Did you have any other side notes other than that? Other than what I had mentioned?
No, I mean, HBK's back around for commentary.
Was he on that one for commentary?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one he was on. Yeah.
Oh, he does 2 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll bring us to Fully Loaded now. And that pay-per-view is on July 26, 1998 from Fresno, California. It's in your house, Fully Loaded. And we'll cover the Kane Mankind shit first. So they have some segments throughout the show that we'll cover leading up to the match, and then we'll get to some side notes after that. So what you have is that 50 minutes into the episode, you have Kane and Mankind just show up randomly. They head to the ring, and JR is going to mention that they're going to defend the tag titles against Austin and Taker, which was never mentioned before, which kind of confused me because they're the champs, but it was never said in the past 2 weeks that this was a tag team title match.
Title match, right? Yep.
Never
Just
once
more like
mentioned.
a grudge match. Yeah.
Right. You're right. It was set up already previously before they had the titles. And then they never mentioned it on the Raws. And this whole show has that vibe of none of this shit was ever talked about. None of it. Like, except for maybe Sable and Jacqueline's bikini contest. Every match was just like made up. Like that day.
They picked out of a hat.
Right. It's like, I guess, they matched with some of the storylines going on, but they never mentioned on Raw, like, oh, this is going to be a match at Fully Loaded. It's not brought up. It was a shit show. It's basically, just taking people's money. Like, oh, here's a pay-per-view. Fucking give us money. Watch this. They built it all around just Austin and Taker versus Kane and Mankind and Sable. And then it's like, all right, here's all the other matches, I guess. So what you have is, the first 4 matches, and we'll get into this in the side notes more, but the first 4 matches are not even anything that's discussed. Even a big match like The Rock versus Triple H, that wasn't talked about either. The IC title match was never even brought up as being a match. And I mean, we're only watching the Raws, so maybe like on a Saturday night, Saturday morning show, they announce stuff. But
I doubt it. They would have mentioned it at some point, and we would have caught it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think they would have just dropped it altogether.
No. Yeah, I doubt it.
Or maybe they assumed we knew they were title matches.
It's kind of dumb.
But they usually announce that shit,
Right.
yeah.
All right, so this brings us to one of the promos building up to the match. You have Paul Bearer with Kane and Mankind. It's not very long. It's about a minute. Take a listen to it.
Where are we? What's going to happen?
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! It's plain and simple. The Undertaker does not want to wrestle his brother Kane. And I know why. He wants to stay in one piece for SummerSlam.
It's a good reason.
Undertaker, you're nothing but a coward. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because my men are going to finish what they started on Raw last week. But the only difference is going to be The Undertaker is not going to be here to help you.
He's hideous. What the hell?
Oh, you didn't know?
All right, so what you have here is Paul Bearer bringing up the fact that The Undertaker hasn't arrived, and he's like, I knew it. He doesn't want to fight Kane. He wants to just protect himself for SummerSlam, which is cool that they're pointing that out because it is leading to SummerSlam. Undertaker versus Stone Cold for the title. So now Paul Bearer saying that Undertaker's just trying to protect himself for that match. And Paul Bearer will go on to say that, Austin is just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but my boys are going to finish him off.
It's collateral damage at this point.
Yep. And I says the only difference is the Undertaker's not going to be able to help you this week, which that's questionable because was the Undertaker trying to help him? Or was the Undertaker trying to hit him last week with the steel chair? So that's up for debate. But Paul Bearer's spinning that tail that the Undertaker was helping him and he was against Kane. So that's pretty much what he said there. Right after that clip, you have New Age Outlaws music's going to hit, and they're kind of pissed off about losing the titles, of course, and they're going to challenge for a tag team title match the next night on Raw. So that would be the July 27th episode, which we'll talk about on next week's episode. But they're challenging for the titles again. It's like, no, you lost. You lost your titles. You had another match already. It ended in a shit show. And that's it. You don't get another match.
Yeah.
Should have won. Should have won your
Move
match.
on.
Right.
Yeah. How are they still at the front of the line?
Right. Well, I guess there's not a whole lot of other tag teams.
There's really no other tag teams. That's why.
Yeah.
Southern Justice.
Yeah, Southern Justice. And they haven't even had a match yet.
No, they haven't. I don't think so.
No. Unless it was on like Shotgun Saturday Night or something.
Yeah.
Which could have been. All right, so now you have Vince McMahon. He's going to come out with the Stooges. He's going to cut a little promo. So I'll take a listen to that, and we'll talk about it after that.
I hope Pat Patterson stays out of Mr. McMahon's way and don't trip him up.
I'm sure that the vast majority of you are just as upset as I am over the possibility of The Undertaker not performing in this very ring tonight. In the unlikely event that The Undertaker pulls a no-show, don't blame Vince McMahon.
Right.
Last Monday on Raw was Stone Cold Steve Austin, who almost decapitated The Undertaker with a steel chair. Not Vince McMahon.
Right again.
In the past, we've seen Stone Cold Steve Austin with unseemly and grotesque hand gestures directed toward The Undertaker. That was Stone Cold, not Vince McMahon.
Exactly. What does that
Stone
mean?
Cold Steve Austin has provoked The Undertaker in challenging him for the WWF title at SummerSlam. That was Stone Cold, not Vince McMahon. If The Undertaker no-shows here, don't blame Vince McMahon.
He's right. It'd be Stone Cold's fault.
The blame will clearly go to one deserving individual, and that individual is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes. I like to hear the logic of that. Well, he just told you.
Now, many of you will note in every advertisement in which you see the WWF displayed in a newspaper, there is some fine print, and that fine print reads, "Card subject to change." So with that in mind,
It's called a disclaimer.
I would like to read from your very program here tonight. You hold this for me, Mr. Briscoe.
What a guy. Yes, I will, Mr. McMahon. Hey, look at that gold case. Those glasses probably cost more in my home. I've seen your home, no doubt about it.
In your program, you would note this insert. At the bottom of it in the fine print, it states, when scheduled talent is unable to appear due to circumstances beyond the control of the promoter, that's me, Vince McMahon, the promoter reserves the right to make a suitable substitution. So therefore, in the unlikely event that The Undertaker pulls a no-show, then I will, in fact, order a suitable substitution.
Who would it be?
As a matter of fact, I should introduce you to him now. Joining Stone Cold Steve Austin as his tag team partner to face Kane and Mankind in the event The Undertaker no-shows will be the Brooklyn Brawler!
What? The what? Oh, stop. The Brooklyn Brawler. I thought he was in jail. I think he made bail. The Brooklyn Brawler. ready. What? I am
Very
not.
much.
It's almost as if Mr. McMahon is hoping that The Undertaker doesn't show up here so that Austin has got to be a partner with the Brooklyn Brawler, for goodness sakes. Well, the Brooklyn Brawler, yeah, the Brooklyn Brawler. I guess that's as good a partner as any for Stone Cold if The Undertaker doesn't show up.
All right, so Vince McMahon's going to come out there. He's going to tell the crowd that, you're probably as upset as I am with The Undertaker potentially not being here to perform in this very ring tonight. And Vince McMahon, he's pissed off about The Undertaker being a no-show. And he's gonna try to solve that problem. He's gonna say that there is this term that we use in wrestling called card subject to change. Or subject to change. And it says it here on our program, and he reads a little stipulation that he could find a suitable substitution if The Undertaker is a no-show. So he says, Austin will have a suitable partner, and I'm going to announce his suitable partner, and he announces the Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brawler's so hyped.
Yeah, he's running out. He's like, yeah!
So excited.
Yeah! He hugs Pat Patterson. He hugs Gerald Briscoe.
JR's like, I thought Brooklyn Brawler was in jail.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Just get a little Brooklyn Brawler reference. But it's not going to come to that. So now we get to the match, we get to the main event, and as we have been in the past few episodes with the pay-per-views, we'll play you the pre-match package, just kind of give you one last wrap-up from the WWE or WWF's point of view. So take a listen to the pre-match package, then we'll get into the main event and the details of that right after.
You may have cost Steve Austin the WWF Championship.
Undertaker's got a chair! Oh, God! Undertaker's chair with Austin's! Oh, God, Austin is busted. He is busted open. And The Undertaker is putting the referee back in the ring. Referee calling for the bell! Referee calling for the bell!
Did I get busted open? You're damn right, but it was The Undertaker that did it. Will you give me the rematch tonight?
What? Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Oh, no! Off the counter! Kane misses that foot! Off the counter! The starter! Stone Cold! Hooks the leg! Austin! No! And The Undertaker is in the ring with evil intentions! Whoa! Austin just paid The Undertaker back for the king of the ring!
One Stone Cold Stunner uncaged a phenom that the World Wrestling Federation could not contain.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's The Undertaker, a man from the dark side, is back with evil and nasty intentions.
You evil, diabolical excuse for a human being.
He's broken in half. And The Undertaker likes it.
You will know my name as the Lord of Darkness.
The Undertaker is raising hell here. And look at the carnage.
Austin, I want a title shot, and I want it right now.
We're fixing to have a title shot right here on television.
Since the two of you are so hell-bent to get it on, at Fully Loaded, Austin, you and Undertaker will face the tag team of Kane and Mankind.
Oh, wow! But the road to Stone Cold and the Phenom's tag team destiny has been fully loaded with questions of where The Undertaker's loyalty lies.
Are you and your brother Kane in cahoots?
Mankind was going to nail The Undertaker, but Kane took the chair away. Answer me, damn it!
You can go to hell.
Inside cradle. That'll be it. That'll be all.
There's Austin.
Wait a minute. Undertaker. Undertaker, pull Austin out.
That's got to answer your question right there. The Undertaker and Kane. Is it going to be you and me against 2 opponents? Or is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin against 3 opponents? All I want to know is where the hell you're coming from.
Now we're going to find out.
You go to hell with him.
What?
Either way you look at it, I'm rolling in to Fully Loaded to beat somebody's ass, whether I got help or not.
Oh, the fight is on. It's Mankind and Kane against Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Austin's got to be irate that The Undertaker left the arena. This was supposed to be The Undertaker's matchup. Oh, look who's here. Here comes The Undertaker. The Undertaker is now in Austin's corner.
in his corner.
He's in Austin's corner. Wait a minute.
He's got the chair.
What's the chair? What's the chair? Austin! Austin!
He's going to hit Austin.
No! The Undertaker just nailed Kane! What? But then he intended to hit Austin!
He looked like he was going to hit Steve Austin.
Austin's got the chair now! Boom! Right in the face of Mankind! Wait a minute! Oh!
And just in case, there's one for The Undertaker. Is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker against Mankind and Kane? Or is it going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus all 3 of them? That's what I would like to know.
All right, so a nice little recap there of all that's been going on. The dispute between whether The Undertaker is in cahoots with Kane and just all that build-up that we've been talking about. So a nice little recap there leading up to this main event match from Fully Loaded 1998, which is apparently a tag team championship match. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind. This match is going to start at the 2-hour, 17-minute mark. The Undertaker makes his way out. He has new entrance music, or at least I think it was new entrance music.
No, it was.
Yeah, I don't remember it being as detailed as it has become at this point.
Yeah, it's like a more complete production. There's more instruments and like
Yeah,
a rock rhythm to it.
yeah, it definitely stood out as like, oh, I haven't heard this since following this in a while. So, yeah, some new entrance music for The Undertaker. And then Austin's going to make his entrance, and Taker's going to meet him about halfway. Like, I don't know why. It was like trying to punk him out, like, hey, what? And put Mankind and Kane are following right behind Undertaker. So they just stop brawling right in the ringside area, or the entrance area.
I thought maybe Taker was just trying to like, all right, we'll go down together as a team.
Oh, you thought that?
Not really. It was a thought, but I didn't think that.
Yeah. I kind of just like fueled more like, can Austin trust this guy?
Yeah.
Especially with like Kane and Mankind right behind The Undertaker. Like they were all coming after him.
Dude,
Because he had been saying, is this 3 against 1 or is this 2 versus 2?
There are 3 guys that in the ring that he practices practice dark arts. Like crazy shit. Undertaker. He's a pallbearer.
Yeah.
He's like at a funeral home. Kane's got a mask and it's from hell.
He's got special fire powers.
Yeah.
Mankind has 3 personalities, so 4 personalities. They're all fucked up.
Good characters.
So at least we don't have the Brooklyn Brawler out there, though. So in the main event of Fully Loaded. So you have the match get started there. They get back into the ringside area, and Austin's going to start traditionally with his Luthez press. Basically, that's his go-to to start a match off. Get things hot. Just bounces off the ropes, does the Luthez press, starts nailing the guy. Then you get some of the same action that we had in the last couple of matches between these guys. You get the Russian leg sweep from Kane. Undertaker gets tagged in after that. And it's funny, Undertaker's going to peg off Austin. And you can see Austin like get a kick out of it. It's like, he starts laughing about it.
Got me.
And Mankind is in the ring with Undertaker now. And then you have Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler's going to mention that Undertaker let Kane walk off and tag Mankind when he was pegging Austin off. So Lawler's still trying to hit it home like, the Undertaker is helping his brother out.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to fight each other, is what he's saying, basically. Which doesn't end up being true because they go at it pretty often in this match.
Yep.
Just like immediately after Jerry Lawler says that Undertaker's helping Kane, walk off so they don't have to go battle with each other. Just moments later, Kane gets tagged in, and Kane's going to chokeslam the Undertaker. So at this point, it doesn't look like there's collusion or cahoots going on between Kane and Undertaker.
Cahoots. No cahoots here.
No cahoots. Yeah, Mankind's going to tag himself in by slapping Kane on the arm, which I hate. I hate those kind of tags. It should be your partner.
Fucking hand out.
Right. Your partner should willingly want to tag you in. You shouldn't be able to just put yourself in the match. It's not a legal tag. Bullshit. Fucking follow the rules, refs. It's like just being lazy as a ref. It's like, all right, I'll let it go.
Yeah, whoever made the rule, it's like, oh, you could just have this. No, it should be hand. It's tag.
Right.
You tag the hand. I don't know.
Right, and it should be the person in the ring wants you to come in now.
Yeah.
Not you
exactly.
get in because you want to get in. All right, so anyway, Mankind tags himself in and gives a double arm DDT on the Undertaker, and Austin's gonna break up that count, which leads to Taker and Mankind falling out of the ring. Kane nails Undertaker, knocks him down, and then Austin's going to knock Mankind off the ring apron, right onto the Spanish announce table, and it looks like Mankind kind of busts his hip. The table doesn't break, which is probably worse than it breaking.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like a solid crash, and it doesn't like break the fall, basically.
Nope.
Just nails right into it. And then you also get a huge backdrop just moments later from the Undertaker on the Mankind on the mat outside the ring. So this action continues in the ring eventually between Mankind and Undertaker. And they both get down. Austin wants a tag, and Kane is tagged in while Austin trying to get this hot tag. Kane knocks Undertaker towards Austin, and Austin finally gets in, gets the tag made with Undertaker. But it didn't look like Undertaker was going to tag him in at first. So then Austin's in there. He starts to wail on Kane. Mankind comes in, starts to get punched by Austin. And he ends up stomping him into the corner. And then he goes back and forth between Kane and Mankind, stomping a mud hole in both of them. And Austin's going to get a chair. He's going to nail Kane with it. And Earl Hebner is watching Mankind and Undertaker battle outside the ring, so he's distracted.
He's occupied, yeah.
Yep. So Kane kicks out. And we get a big boot to Austin from Kane. And Kane's going to toss Austin out of the ring. Mankind attacks from the outside. And then Kane's going to make his way out and drops Austin on his neck on the guardrail. Then you have now Mankind working on Austin inside the ring once he gets back in. The tag's finally made to Kane. Kane starts stomping on Austin. Austin makes a comeback finally, but it's really short-lived. And JR points out at this point that Kane and Mankind have made more exchanges than Austin and Undertaker. So you have more tag team dynamic with Kane and Mankind. And that's just kind of pointing out that Undertaker and Austin aren't good partners. They're not working together well.
They're not hitting the stats.
Yeah. I noticed at the 2-hour, 36-minute mark that the Undertaker is on the ring apron. He looks fucking sleepy. He looks like he needs a nap. He's just like,
so get that guy a bed.
He hasn't been in the match for a while at that point. And Austin's going to take a leg drop from Kane. And Austin's getting double teamed in the corner. Undertaker comes in to stop it. This is one of the things that fucking annoys me with tag team matches, especially tag team matches involving Earl Hebner, just because he pisses me off. Could have been any ref, but when it's him, it pisses me off even more. Undertaker comes in to stop the double teaming on Austin, but then Earl Hebner, rather than dealing with the double teaming, the illegal double teaming that's going on, he turns to the Undertaker and tries to get him out of the ring.
Yeah.
Something illegal is already happening in the ring. Deal with that. Not the guy that's trying to help out the cheating going on. Like,
yeah.
And now you're allowing
for the problem.
Yeah. Now Earl Hebner is allowing for the cheating to go on longer behind his back because you can't be in the ring, but they can double cheat. They can double team over here, but you can't be in the ring. Get out of here! Get out of here! So fucking dumb. And it's always Earl Hebner. I feel like I only see that with Earl Hebner. He just looks like a dumbass in there. He doesn't know what's going on. Ugh, frustrating.
How's he not fired yet?
Well, he's doing what he's supposed to, but it sucks.
Yeah, he's not good at his job. Must be a union job or something. I don't know.
So, anyways, fucking the thing's going on. It's prolonged. He's yelling at the Undertaker, and just moments later after that, within the minute, Kane's gonna chokeslam Austin. And Mankind's going to tell Kane, you can hear him, spike him. Tell him to give him a tombstone. So Austin blocks the tombstone, nails Kane with the stunner. Mankind runs in, gets the mandible claw on. Austin's going to break out of the mandible claw with the stunner, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a nice counter.
Yep. So you have all three of them laid out, and the Undertaker's just on the corner still, sleepy, looking at him. And Earl's counting. He's like counting them out. So Austin starts to stumble, starts to reach for the Undertaker. Undertaker is not helping. He's not putting his arm out at all to make the tag.
No, he's very hesitant.
Yep. So then he ultimately does. He sticks it out the last minute just as Mankind is coming over to prevent the tag from being executed. And Undertaker comes in right from there. He throws punches back and forth between Kane and Mankind. JR is all excited on commentary. There ain't no conspiracy. There ain't no conspiracy. And Taker's going to mule kick Mankind right in the nuts as he's trying to chokeslam Kane. So he's got a grasp on Kane, and Mankind's coming from behind. That's when Undertaker gives him a nut chop. He hits it, then chokeslams Mankind. And Kane is back up and walks right into a tombstone. And they'll go for the cover there. Austin's going to clothesline Mankind, who's trying to break up the count. Undertaker gets that 3 count after that tombstone. So now you have new tag team champions again. Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin, tag team champions. Austin is now tag team champions again with just some random reluctant partner. And Shawn Michaels, Dude Love, and now The Undertaker. So here it is again. But
3 top guys.
Yeah.
This is some epic tag teams.
Yeah, and it's funny because last July 97, is when he was tag champs with Shawn Michaels and Dude Love from June through July. So it's like those summer months, like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's give him the tag titles.
Yeah, let's give him a tag title again.
With someone else.
But this time, they're not as embracing of it. Ultimately, what happens is Undertaker, he's going to walk off with both belts. He's like, hey, I just won this match. These are my belts.
Yeah. My belts now.
Even though, for like the last 7 minutes or so of the match, he was just standing there sleepy. Then he comes in and, he kicks a little ass. And he feels like, I won this. I deserve this. So we'll see where it goes from there. The show closes at that point. New tag team champions, but not walking out together, not holding the titles together. Undertaker with both belts, and Austin is pretty pissed. So next week we'll get into the fallout of this. But prior to that, let's run through some of the side notes. JV, were there any matches that stood out to you? Or any segments that stood out to you?
Oh, there's definitely a segment.
All right, bring it up.
Yeah, well, you got the
What? Sable? Is that what you're going to say?
I shouldn't. No, it's the brownie. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right.
Look.
All right. I'll do it.
No. I got it. No.
All right, so what do you got for side notes?
Well, we got the Sable and Jacqueline segment.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah. How about the
Yeah, the bikini.
the bikini contest? You got the tail of the tape. Did you see that? They have a rundown of like their stats, but then it shows one criteria is bombs.
I know that's awesome.
Bombs. And Jacqueline has 34 double D's, double delights. And then
So corny.
Sable has the 38 specials.
Yeah.
And then there's the criteria for butt. Jacqueline has round and sexy. Sable's is firm and tight.
This would offend so many people nowadays.
Right.
So many groups. Be so
So
angry.
sexist.
Yeah.
So while Jacqueline's doing her thing, she's like shaking her ass and her fucking nipples pop out. But they were censored. It was, couldn't see it on the network. So I missed out on that. But Sable, she says that Vince McMahon told her to dress conservative. She's not going to listen. And she rips off her outfit that she has on. She has kind of like a mid, I don't know,
It's like a
It's like
crop top.
yeah, like a crop top. Yeah, like a sweaterish type crop top.
Yeah, yeah.
Then she takes that off, and she has handprints covering her tits, the classic handprint.
Oh,
And Jerry Lawler's reaction is just the best, though. He's like bouncing around.
yep. He's like a dog, like a cartoon dog.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking
Right.
about. Yeah.
And then the whole time he's just staring at her tits the whole time.
Yeah. And he has to. That's his job.
Right. But then McMahon comes out there and he goes up to Sable and covers her in his suit jacket, which was funny because, Sable's like, big lady, tall.
Yeah, she is.
And McMahon's jacket's just like, she looks like a little kid in McMahon's jacket.
Yeah.
This just shows how big Vince McMahon is.
I mean, he's jacked at this point. Too.
Right. And it's great that McMahon does that because he's already the heel, but that's like a huge heel move is to cover up the tits of what everybody wants to see.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably I guess that is the other main event. That's the only thing that was really announced to be on the show other than the match we just covered. But besides that, other matches that ended up happening was D'Lo Brown versus X-Pac. So more of the Nation and DX feud. And that was a decent match. Both good workers, both solid workers there. But nothing notable to really speak of other than just decent working going on there. You had a random match, Farouk and Too Cold Scorpio against Terry Funk and Bradshaw. This was just fucking random. Wicked random. But the only thing that I took from it watching it is like, oh, maybe this is like the early stages of Bradshaw and Farouk.
Oh yeah,
because there is a little bit conflict between the two of them, which kind of leads them to end up having this partnership together. Even though early on, if I'm remembering this correctly, they kind of start off as like rivals and then end up just becoming partners. They don't always get along.
Yeah.
So this might be the start of that there. We had the dungeon match, Owen Hart and Kid Shamrock in the dungeon, Calgary. Bret Hart's home, the Hart family home.
Yeah, it's funny the production at the start.
Yeah.
Of the match because it's almost like they stole it from like a Halloween movie. It's Kid Shamrock at the top of the stairs looking down.
Yeah. And then he was whacking himself in the head, like getting all intense.
Yeah, it was nuts.
What I thought of is like it's kind of like he's all intense. He's on the staircase going into a basement. You can see like the lampshade behind him. Like it's like a modest living room or like a entryway, whatever, of a home.
Yeah, like I've been in that home or something.
Right. So what I was thinking was like, this is like when you're 10 years old and you have your own little federation with your friends. You're like walking down in the basement for your match, like it's the entryway. You're like, yeah, here I come, and you got like the radio playing with like some Bret Hart music or something.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is my match. It's my turn. This is WWF. But when they started to go at it, though, it looked pretty legit, though. It's that thing where when you're not in the ring and you're in this small confined area where the cameras are close, you kind of have to be legit with your punches.
Yeah, have to be a little bit more stiff for
right,
sure.
because then it would just look like shit. Look totally fake. So, yeah, they're kind of giving it to each other. So it ended up being better than I thought, from that entrance. So it's pretty... You have Triple H and The Rock, 2 out of 3 falls match, which, again, was never mentioned earlier on the Raws leading up to this.
Never.
IC title match, 2 out of 3 falls. They just made it up that day. And ends up going to a time limit draw, 30 minutes. So The Rock retains. Decent match. And then you have the bikini contest. That's about it. So that's going to wrap up Fully Loaded in July. That'll lead us to next week, where we cover the end of July, the night after Fully Loaded, and heading into the first couple weeks of August on the road to SummerSlam, or as Stone Cold had said earlier, on the highway to hell to SummerSlam. So we'll be covering that next week. But let's wrap things up here with the bottom line wrap-up. in our house show rundown. So Steve Austin is back on the road, and he has some interactions starting on July 10th, 98 in Boston, Massachusetts. Steve Austin and Undertaker defeat Kane and Mankind. On July 11th, you have Austin pinning Mankind in Atlantic City. July 15th in Columbus, Ohio, Austin and Undertaker defeat Kane and Mankind in a non-title match being tag team title match. And on July 16th, Dayton, Ohio, Steve Austin pins Mankind. July 17th, Louisville, Kentucky, Austin and Vader defeat Kane and Mankind. Undertaker getting a night off there, it seems. And July 18th, Lexington, Kentucky, Austin pins Mankind with the stunner. And then lastly, July 25th, 1998, in San Francisco, Austin defeats Undertaker and Kane. So just the night before Fully Loaded, Austin has a match against Undertaker and Kane. And that'll bring us now to our Oh Hell Yeah moment. JV, you got an Oh Hell Yeah moment?
Oh yeah, my Hell Yeah moment is for sure the Sable and Jacqueline segment.
I was going to say the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, like no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No, absolutely. And my Oh Hell No moment is not just one single moment, but more so just Fully Loaded pay-per-view. And the fact that it was just kind of thrown together and none of these matches were really announced ahead of time. It's just, that's all bullshit to me. So that's all hell no right there. Oh hell no to Fully Loaded.
Yeah, my Oh Hell No is the bullshit Dan Severn and Godfather match.
Yeah, that's good too because that was fucking phony baloney shit going on there.
Yeah. Severn lost.
Severn did lose. Yeah.
That was bullshit.
Fucking the Godfather, Charles Wright, beat Dan Severn in a shoot match. Gets no credit for it.
No, he's not.
He should
like, nah, dude.
He could have been UFC champion. Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine.
Yeah, right. Imagine what that would have done for his cred.
Shit.
Like, damn. So that's my Hell No moment.
All right. So next week we'll be covering, like I said just moments ago, on episode 30. I'm going to finish up July with the night after Fully Loaded, which is July 27th. And then we'll cover the next two Raws from August 3rd and August 10th. That's what's coming up next week. We also do have that special edition watch-along, Austin versus Bret Hart, coming up. That'll be in May. Okay, so we have a date set for it. It's May 15th. JV is going to be going away to Aruba. And
that's right.
You know, just to make things easier for us, we're going to release that episode on the Wednesday instead of our, regular or standard episode. So you'll have a special edition in place of that. So kind of a week off for us, but you'll still have something to listen to and something to watch along with. And again, that's May 15th. Austin versus Hart, Bret Hart from Survivor Series 96. All right, so now I get a couple plugs for our podcast pals. We got Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, Mike Mills, Hard Body Hopper, Doc Turner. These guys break down old episodes of NWA, World Championship Wrestling, and they're currently covering 1987. This week, on this week's episode on Thursday, when they release that, it'll be December 12th, 1987. And they also have another episode that comes out on Sundays covering Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And this week will be September 17th, 1994, which is episode 138. You can check those episodes out on YouTube if you want to see the action before they break it down. So again, that's Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast. And we also have our buddies from Talking Taker. Take a listen to what Alex Dorio, one of the co-hosts or one of the hosts of Talking Taker, has to say about their show. So take a listen to Alex.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore The Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss The Undertaker's side of the story, from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
All right, so be sure to take a look at Talking Taker. This week they'll be covering Judgment Day of 2002, which is The Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. So that's kind of like a blast from the past, basically, at that point in 2002, to have Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan again. So take a listen to that. That's Talking Taker, and also the other show, Book in the Territory. So help out our buddies there. They're always good to help us out and mention us on their shows.
Hey, before you leave, hey!
Want to reach out to us? Well, you can reach me at MPRU83 on Twitter.
What?
You can reach JV at John Van Damage.
What?
And if you want to communicate with us, with our show,
What?
well, we're at Bottom Line Cast on Twitter.
What?
Okay, if you listen to us on iTunes, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and also a little write-up, because that can definitely help us out. And we're also on Facebook. Help us out on Facebook at Bottom Line Cast also. In addition to whatever podcast platform you listen to us on, we're available on others. Just so you know, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play, Radio Public. So we're out there. We're basically on all podcast platforms. So if you, obviously you're listening to us now, so you found us, but there's other options.
You got that one friend that's like, oh, yeah, they're on Podbean. Oh, I don't have Podbean.
Yeah, I don't like Podbean.
I use Stitcher. Oh, they're on there too.
Right. Exactly. So that'll be it. JV, any final words?
No final words today, brother.
All right, so until next week, I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. We're out of here. So long.